The main feature of the day is the Hollywoodbets Durban July. It's the Grade 1 event over the 2,200 meters, and everyone comes to a standstill for this. July fever is at its absolute high, and it really builds up to this. So looking forward to the renewal, the 2025 renewal, and just to mention that for the Hollywoodbets Durban July, there's a quartet, there's a R1 million carryover, and the likely pool is 10 million. So looking forward to the big one. And MJ, let's see how the market's looking, because I'm sure there's been a lot of movement since it's opened.
Yeah, quite a bit. Vicky also must just add, thanks to Hollywood, that they pay the first 6 places. So you go on the website and you can actually find one bit of a roughie to try and run in the 6, and there's a bit of value around. So yeah, listen, 8 on 18 is 15 to 10 favourite. He's gone out a small little bit, but not much. Oriental Charms 6 to 1. Immediate Edge is 7 to 1. The Real Prince is 12 to 1. On my honour, Glenn Cotson's done a good job in talking his horse up quite a bit, and he's shortened nicely from
as usual.
Correct. From 33 to 1 to 20 to 1 and then into 16 to 1. So some proper support for On My Honour. So Luque is 16 to 1. Sierra Gain 16 to 1. Gladiatorian 16 to 1. Madison Valley's come in from 33 to 1 into 20 to 1. Royal Victory 25 to 1. Atticus Finch 33 to 1. Pomodoro's Jet's gone from 50 to 1 to 40 to 1 into 33 to 1. So a bit of support for him. The PE Raider, My Best Shot, he's 33 to 1. Okavango 33 to 1. Confederate 33 to 1. Purple Picture 50 to 1 into 40 to 1. Rainbow Lorikeets 50 to 1. Native Rulers 50 to 1. So that's all the betting, with 8 on 18 leading the bunch.
Thank you very much, MJ. It was a very interesting morning of the gallops, because it's some people enjoy the think it's a decision make and other people don't. For me, number 3 On My Honour stood out with the gallop morning, but it doesn't quite stop there, because everyone prepares their horses differently. Some do a lot, some just show them the track. So Justin, your opinion, does it sway you at all if you see a horse put up a really good bit of work and you didn't consider them before?
Absolutely not. No. I think all the gallops show is who works the hardest on the day. This horse worked the hardest in his first 400. I think he went like 3 seconds, call it 18 lengths faster than the others, which was good that his last 400 was still good. But he had a good piece of work, and it was impressive. The gallops, for me, show who's moving well or not well. That's the most important thing about them. And I think if there was any horse in the race that needed or could deal with the hard gallop, was this horse, because he's been very lightly raced coming into the race. He's, I think, a horse who's got a massive chance of running in the first 3 here. And again, I'm going to be boring. All this is going to come down to is how the race is run again. It's all about the pace. So if they do what happened last year, which was front 3 horses go at a sedate gallop, you simply can't catch them, because they're good horses that haven't exerted themselves in the first part of the race. They then skip, and it doesn't matter how good you are. If Oriental Charm, On My Honour, and Madison Valley are cantering in front, you're not catching them in a 400-meter straight. And that's going to be the biggest issue 8 on 18 faces. So for me, I mean, he's easily the best horse in the race. His weight doesn't bother me at all. He's the best weighted horse in the race. He should be carrying 59. And that's if he's 129, which I don't think he is. I think he's 5 points better than that. So I think he's well weighted in every single aspect. I'm not going to look at what 3-year-olds carried 35 years ago and compare them to him. Very few 3-year-olds, if any, ran in the Rothmans July, Vodacom July, having been Met winners, going into the race. So he deserves every pound he's got. He should have more. The danger for him, with me, would be that from his draw, I'm pretty sure Richard will try and sit 1 or 2 off the rail midfield, which would be a great result.
That would be ideal.
The issue is then, if Oriental Charm gets to the lead, and On My Honour, Smunger's going to be very happy sitting just behind, and potentially another horse comes out in 3rd spot, and they're all very happy going a sedate gallop, that's going to make it very hard for 8 on 18 if he's sitting worse than midfield, because then he's going to have to now run down very good horses who are not tiring. And that's why I say pace is the most important thing. If Confederate and Purple Pitcher and horses like that trying to overcome their wide draws and go and make the early paced honest, then 8 on 18 will be almost unbeatable, I think, because the horses will be tiring. He's an absolute nailed on, like in England you'd call him a 1.5 mile type. For me, 2,400 meters is his absolute premium trip. Just the way he runs, the way he moves, the way he looks. He's just getting better and better, and I think he's outside of, as I explained, with the pace issue, I can't see him losing.
Because he's also a tricky horse in that he takes a little bit of time to get going, but once he gears up, he flies.
I think I watched, obviously, his last few runs multiple times. I think Richard is he's almost having fun with the horse in the race. Like, I don't want to use a rude word.
You 3 lengths
but
lost,
like,
but get in the race.
He's so confident riding the horse because he's so good. He's like, oh, you know what? We'll miss the break. I'll be 2 lengths behind the second last horse. I'll come 3 wide. Doesn't matter. I'm going to win by 4 lengths anyway.
And then cross the whole field and go to the rail.
It's like
You can't do it in the
it's
July.
like he's thinking to himself in running, let's have a bit of fun here, because otherwise it's too easy. Like, that's how the impression the horse gives you when he runs. I think he'll be more serious on Saturday. He's going to need to be, because it's going to be a bit trickier. And I think if he can be midfield 1 or 2 off race,
That's it.
he's too good, yeah.
And do you think that, so I've put them in a pot with 1 Stripe and 8 on 18, exceptional 3-year-olds this year. I mean, they
yes.
are cut above quite a bit of what we've seen.
Yes, and what people don't also take into account is that back in the day, the older horses that set the weight in the Hollywoodbets Durban July, you're talking about horses like, you know, Pocket Powers and Heavy Metals and Pomodoros and those horses. They were all weight for age Group 1 winners in the season going into this race. So they set the benchmark of high ratings, and then the 3-year-olds who'd stuck to themselves sort of came in a bit lower. Now, the older horses setting the weights haven't won anything. So they're lower rated than, obviously, Oriental Charm won this race last year with a lighter weight. This season he's run good seconds. See It Again hasn't won anything. Gladiatorian is setting the weights. His career best run was 3rd in a mile 2 weeks ago. So none of those have the record Pocket Power and the likes had, and therefore set this big fat 60-kilo marker, which put the 3-year-olds down. The older horses have not accomplished as much as that group, whereas now 8 on 18 and 1 Stripe are weight for age winners against older horses. So they deserve the weight because they are that much better. So I think the betting is spot on.
But Justin, that's why people have lost sight of that previously.
Yeah.
The 3-year-old's bottom weight was 52,
Yeah.
not 53, and top weight was 58, not 60.
Yes. Yeah.
So now people are saying, oh, but a 3-year-old carrying 57, they're taking it out of context, because the horse should actually have 59.
Can you imagine him with 52?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a horse race.
Yeah,
6
so,
to 10.
Yeah, it's absolutely spot on.
Robert, your opinion of the race? Find us some value. Do you have value for us?
I don't know if I have value, Vicky. I just to touch on my honor, I just don't think on my honor is good enough. I mean, it's 2 wins were in PE, beating Jack in the Green and Sakurajima. I can see the horse maybe running a place, but I don't see him as a potential winner. I think there are only 5 horses who can possibly win this race, but I'd like to mention a 6th horse, and that's My Best Shot. I think it's astounding what that horse has done. You know, for a 3-year-old to win 10 races from 1400 to 2-4 in the manner that he has. And I would love to see him run in the money. You know, he really deserves his place in the lineup. So I think that this is going to end up in a copy and paste of my Met selection and the Met result. I think 8 on 18 is obviously slung in, as Justin has alluded to. And I think Oriental Charm is the obvious danger. You know, normally people saw everybody cheer at the draws when Oriental Charm got a 1 draw. It's lucky that it's Oriental Charm, because the 1 draw is a kiss of death normally. I mean,
Tell
I
you what,
remember
Robert,
when
I wouldn't want to be draw 1 on this.
I had Castlethorpe in the July the 1 year, and when they jump out of those gates, the jocks are saying there's only 1 July and stuff the 10-day suspension, you
Exactly.
know. Castlethorpe got stuck right in the fence. How he didn't go through the fence, I don't know. So Oriental Charm, though, is a horse with gate speed, and
He's gate
And
speed,
he's
and
going
he skips quickly.
he skips clear. So that draw actually suits him. The question is he going to lead, or is Purple Pitcher going to try and get around him and go to the front? Now, one thing about Oriental Charm is he doesn't stop. And in all honesty, and at the risk of being critical, he should have actually won the Met. If JP hadn't come to the outside fence, he wins the Met, because there was no necessity to do that. But I think he's the obvious danger. In regard to who else, if you look past those horses, they're 2 horses with question marks in respect of the trip, but they're both bloody good horses. The one is Gladiatorian, and the other one's the Real Prince. Will they see out the trip? I don't know. I know Dean Canamo likes to drop everything in, but surely from that gate, he's not going to stick the Real Prince at the back of the field. and look to pass 17 or 18 horses in the straight. But if he does see out the trip, and Gladiatorians, who's a proper horse, sees out the trip, you've got to respect them. The other horse that comes into the equation is Immediate Edge. I think he is the only 3-year-old that has a hope with 8 on 18 in receipt of £8. I don't think it's enough, but you must bear in mind, forget about his rating of 108. He ran to a 114 last time. So he's only actually £3 out on the handicap as the weights are structured in this race. I mean, we call it a handicap. It's actually a bastardized handicap, isn't it? Because it's got conditions attached to the race. But he's also on the upgrade, and he could be much better than his rating, and he is highly rated, and you've got to respect him.
He's only run 6 times too, so he's relatively unexposed.
He's the unfinished article at this point in time. But to me, it's 8 on 18 from Oriental Charm, and then a toss-up, as I say, between Immediate Edge, Gladiatorian, and the Real Prince, with a question mark about the trip relating to them.
I got a question for Robert. Royal Victory on his last year's run, he must come into it. I know he's drawn 17.
I don't know. I put Royal Victory into. I mean, I think he's done fantastically, and he's extremely consistent. But I put him in the same category as See It Again. You know, had their chances running in summer cups and races in Joburg against, with respect, inferior fields up there, in comparison to what you meet in here. You know, place chance, yes, but I don't see him winning.
MJ?
Yeah.
Do you agree with Justin?
I agree with
Robert?
Justin and Robert. If 8 on 18 doesn't win, I think Oriental Charm, as I said, it's just going to make it hard for him. It's not going to be an easy race for 8 on 18 because he'll be in a box seat or in front and doing his thing. So he's going to make it hard for him. It'll be a proper race, that's for sure. But yeah, I think all also spoken about, I think it's probably covers the whole the race.
Yeah, tactics and pace are definitely going to pay dividends. It's going to be a very exciting race indeed. And I think we're just also impressed by number 11, 8 on 18, and can't wait to see how he's going to perform and fight off his challenges, hopefully.
Vicky, just
Saturday.
to mention one other thing, you know, when people about the draws to do with the July, you know, the draws really count for precious little. If you go look back over the years with Flaming Rock, Dynasty, Pomodoro, drawn 20 out of 20, the 3 of them, Classic Flag and the Conglomerate, drawn 18 out of 18. It really doesn't actually make that much difference where you're drawn. In fact, you'd rather be wide than be stuck on the fence,
I
wouldn't
promise
you?
you, Robert, you come into the July, top of the straight, there are 4 or 5 horses that probably shouldn't be in the race and they can't maintain the speed and they just cause trouble.
Yeah.
And you get some of the horses when you're now in the pocket, those horses that are 3 wide, they actually go forward and momentum, they keep going. So a lot of the times horses at 3 wide ends up winning. And that's fact.
Is it just, MJ, with that, is it just based on you'd rather be following the right horse? Doesn't matter where you are in the race, following the right horse to pull you through more so than sitting where your horse normally races?
I think it's momentum, Vicky. As I say, top of the straight, you've seen a lot of horses, people think that the straight is so short that you need to get going. But you're still climbing. Just before you turn, you see a lot of times like the whole field spreads out, and that's the reason for it. It's basically the horses not maintaining their speed into this or past the 400.
Justin described sort of the perfect scenario with 8 on 18, made midfield 1 or 2 off. If you were riding him, what would you do?
Yeah, just listening to Justin and Andrew Fortune has worked him quite a bit. And looking at the horse, he's a baby. He's still a baby. He does his own thing, and he's not a finished horse. And it's surprising how much he matured from when he won the Met to when we saw him at Summerveld the other day before a sprint race. I mean, the horse has changed. He's huge. He's become really a proper horse now. Mentally, he's still, like they've said, they were a little bit concerned that he's still a big baby. And in these type of races, you don't want those little mistakes. Good horses do get you out of trouble, but I'm sure Richard will be midway back, probably 1 off, if not 3 wide. I wouldn't be surprised to see him 3 wide. Justin will go mad, but he'll probably be in a better place. I promise you. It's probably better for the horse to be 3 wide.
Well, you're looking forward to it. And tactics play the important role as well as pace.